Alright, hello everyone, it is Nigel here once again, and today I have got another movie review for you guys. So, we conclude at least the original Star Wars trilogy by talking about Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, as always, I am not a professional at all, not a professional movie reviewer, just a man who enjoys a good time. And for the most part, I did have a good time watching this movie. Of course, it wraps up, like I said, the original trilogy and everything that happened up to this point. A lot of stuff gets resolved. There's some questions that get answered, but then it leads to a few more questions which they seek to rectify in both the prequels and the sequels later on, as well as some of the spin-offs. But we're going to get into that and more, where we're going to be talking about what I liked, what I didn't like about the movie. And there was a few gray areas that I noticed in this movie. Some stuff where I both liked and didn't like it. But we will get into all of that. So, starting with what I like. So, like I said, I liked how everything got wrapped up. Luke finally confronts Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, and ultimately Darth Vader makes the ultimate sacrifice, saving his son Luke, who killing Palpatine, dying in front of his son Luke, having been redeemed and everything, and going as a Force ghost. So that gets wrapped up. The relationship between Lando and Hal, and not Hal, Han Solo is repaired, and Han Solo is freed from the carbonite and everything that he was frozen in Episode 2. Who Jabba the Hutt is dead. The friends are all reunited. The Empire has fallen, and the Jedi are victorious. And just you get the feeling of triumph. We did it. We beat the Jet. We not beat the Jet. We beat the Empire. We beat the bad guys. Everybody's celebrating and everything. They're celebrating on several different planets and everything. So all around the galaxy, people are celebrating as the Empire has fallen, and it's a nice, neat little way to wrap that stuff up. We see Luke's maturation as he becomes a Jedi Knight. He even does a Jedi mind trick. He tries one on Jabba, but that one fails. But he did get one of Jabba's lackeys. So we see that. We see he's some more of like Darth Vader. It's revealed that not only is Luke Darth Vader's son, but Leia is Darth Vader's daughter as well, meaning they are siblings, meaning the kiss in Episode 4 and the longer kiss in Episode 5 are very, very, very awkward. But yeah, so that's that. Although honestly, I'm willing to make a theory here. I don't think they had the twist in mind of like Luke and Leia being Darth Vader's children and therefore siblings until like late into production. Because if that's the case, then why was the kiss there? It was planned that they were gonna be siblings and everything. Why was the kiss there? That's oh boy. But be that as it may, hey, there is that. There's that, and like I said, the feeling of triumph and everything, and I get to learn some more of like the Star Wars lore that's been referenced heavily in other stuff like spoofs and parodies of Star Wars, and that's one of the things I really like about this movie is some stuff where it's a joke. Oh, and you don't get because you don't watch Star Wars, and then you watch the Star Wars movie, you're like, oh, that's what that means. One of the ones in particular is actually the Star 2 Epic Rap Battles of History, Adolf Hitler versus Darth Vader 3, where Hitler like goes off the cliff as he's being pushed into the Sarlacc pit and then jumps back up and grabs the mic. We now know where that's from. That's from Episode 6, where Luke saves his friends from Jabba the Hutt, arranges the rescue, and then gets his lightsaber, which was hidden in R2D2. That was pretty cool, where he like went off the board, jumped up, grabbed the lightsaber. That I think was pretty darn cool. But yeah, there's that. In terms of what I didn't really like about the movie, and I'll kind of explore some of that more in like the gray areas as we get to that But in terms of what I didn't really like about the movie, I feel like, and maybe this is just me, but it kind of feels like they were kind of stalling at first. Luke confronting Vader, him confronting Vader towards like the middle to the end of the movie did feel kind of rushed. They spent a lot of time. Well, it kind of makes sense. They did have to go to Endor first, and they did have to rescue the friends from Jabba the Hutt. But that felt like it took a little while, and then we finally get to Luke going after Vader. But the thing about Return of the Jedi was it was supposed to be this big moment where Luke finally confronts Vader like in an ultimate battle, even though they didn't face off in episode 5. But it did. It was supposed to be the epic battle and everything, and we do see them like gearing up and everything to battle each other. Of course, the rebels and the Empire. Or we do see them getting ready to go against each other. They got a second Death Star and everything, and they got the base on Endor. But I don't know. I feel like maybe Luke confronting Vader should have been earlier on in the movie. But you know what? Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just something I'm missing, and maybe I'm alone on that. In fact, I'd probably argue I am alone on that, perhaps. But other than that, in terms of the gray areas, the stuff I kind of liked and kind of didn't like, or some stuff I didn't really like, but I understand why they did it. For starters, the Ewoks on Endor, or how they were introduced and how they pretty much dominated like the latter half of the movie to the point where they joined the fight and really make the stormtroopers look like schlubs, made the whole like empire and everything look like a bunch of jabronis. Now, on one hand, I get it. The Ewoks are there, they know the place, and obviously they're probably not too keen on these like this bad force, the Empire, for showing up on their land and using it for nefarious purposes and everything. And them joining the fight, I think, really helped for the most part for the rebel army and everything. But at the same time, as I mentioned, they kind of made the Empire look like kind of jabronis, kind of losers in a way. How they were getting taken down by these like little furry creatures. But yeah, so that. But again, maybe I'm alone on that. They were kind of cute though. I'll give them that. They were kind of cute though. But yeah, it just felt kind of weird. And then the other thing we gotta address. So, in the original theatrical release, and then everything in every release of Star Wars before, I believe, like right after the original trilogy, the Force Ghost scene where Anakin and now is a Force Ghost after having been redeemed by Darth Vader being killed, sacrificing himself to save his son Luke and everything. In the originals, he was portrayed by actor Sebastian Shaw, but later on, after the prequel trilogies and everything, his Force Ghost is replaced and edited and is now taking place by Hayden Christensen, who plays Anakin in the prequel trilogy and everything. So he ends up replacing Sebastian Shaw. Now, there's been conflicting things about this. I get it, but I don't really get it at the same time, because I think I get what they were trying to do with that by having that change in there. They're trying to say like Darth Vader was like taking Anakin's place, but Anakin's soul didn't really age because it was gone within Darth Vader. So Anakin didn't really age, and so he was there instead. Darth Vader was there instead of Anakin. So with Darth Vader being killed, Anakin's now restored, and so he looks just like he did when he first turned to the dark side and everything. But then, on the other hand, considering how much time had passed, Anakin really should be an old man, theoretically. Like, Obi-Wan and Yoda are their old selves, respectively. And obviously time had passed, the same amount of time has passed since Obi-Wan and Anakin fought, and Anakin became Darth Vader and everything. And so, realistically, yeah, Anakin should have aged and everything, and the body is still there, and uh, the body's still there and it's still aging and everything. It's still Anakin. It's just now how he's within Darth Vader and everything. But at the same time, like I said, I do get it, and maybe the Force is showing them as like a Jedi. Obi-Wan and Yoda, it would explain for them because they were Jedi the whole time, and then they died and everything, so they became part of the Force, and so they'll stay their old selves like they were in the Force. But then Hayden Christensen, because he came back to the Jedi by saving Luke, pretty much gets restored to his old self. But it does look kind of out of place, and it does look a little weird. Like, why is he young? Shouldn't he be the old dude, and instead of being like young, and then everybody else is old? Then, and why not have young Yoda or have Ewan McGregor or reprise as Obi-Wan, be young Obi-Wan? So that I thought was a little weird, but maybe I'm thinking too deep into it. But yeah, that's about it. So in terms of where it fit in the Star Wars lore and everything, uh, I'd say it's a satisfying end to the original trilogy. And if you think about it, this was kind of it for a while. This movie released in 1983, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, 1983. So the prequels didn't start happening until 1999 with Phantom Menace and everything. So for a lot of people, this was it for a while. Oh, and the prequels wouldn't be happening for a while. The sequels wouldn't be happening for a long while. The only other thing is like the Christmas special, and then I believe the Ewoks TV series that they did. But yeah, for a lot of people, this was it for a while. It ends in this original trilogy in this like nice little bow and everything. Now, there is some indications within the movies and everything that people have picked up on that suggest, okay, maybe they are planning on doing more movies and everything, maybe doing prequels to show like how did Anakin become Darth Vader and everything. And so there is that. But yeah, this was it for a while. So for a long time, there wasn't really anything in main Star Wars canon in terms of like movies and stuff for a long time. So when I watched this movie, and honestly the whole trilogy, I try to put myself in that mindset, and I try to imagine the gap between episode 5 and then episode 6, the big twist happening, and then episode 6 where things get revolved. And now I try to put myself in the shoes of episode 6 all the way until episode 1, how there wasn't really anything in terms of like major Star Wars canon. But yeah, so that is gonna do it. And obviously the next movies we're gonna talk about are the prequel trilogies, which have had some mixed reception, but I'm interested to see how it goes. But in terms of the original trilogy, I think it was a well done story, and honestly, if it ended here, no prequels, no sequels or anything, I think it would have been a pretty good story for the most part. It would have been a pretty nice way to wrap up this franchise and everything. But obviously, they had more plans going forward with Star Wars and everything, so they couldn't really leave it as such. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think they should have stopped it here, or do you like that there was prequels and sequels? Now, the sequels haven't been received as well as the prequels, but reach your own judgment, and I'll definitely do that once I get to watching those movies. But yeah, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, System Shock Radio and Tales from the Labyrinth are coming this weekend, and as I've mentioned before in my previous videos I did this week, including John Cena vs. CM Punk and Money in the Bank 2011, and my John Lennon crime analysis video from yesterday. If you haven't already, go check those out. But as I mentioned, and there's going to be a change to how I do System Shock Radio and Tales from the Labyrinth, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For System Shock Radio, but both episodes are going to be live. So tomorrow night we're going to be live at 11. I may push it back to 11:30 because tomorrow is Money in the Bank. And let me know if you guys want me to review that as well. And let me know if you guys want to see me react and review like current pay-per-views and everything. But yeah, so well, I may do Tales from Labyrinth at 11:30. For some reason, WWE's now doing pay-per-views on Saturdays. Sure, why not? But yeah. So that's that. Then System Shock Radio is going to be live on Sunday at about 1 or 1:30 p.m. I think I think I should do 1:30 p.m. because I'm already pushing Tales from Labyrinth to 1:30. So 11:30 I should say. So yeah, 1:30 on Sunday for System Shock Radio, and for that we will be doing the PlayStation versus Xbox debate. So you guys will want to show up for that. And pretty much I'm going to be doing the pros and cons of both, and then evaluating them. But without further ado, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed my review. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys later. Peace.